Today you will be taking notes in your practice book, so please pause this video and open your practice book to page 81. When you've done that, press play. At the top of the page in front of you, you guys have something called an area model. Yesterday we talked about area and we discussed how the inside, or how many unit squares fit inside of my box, is the area. Today, we're going to use our knowledge of area to help us multiply bigger numbers together. As you might notice, I have 20 and 6 in expanded form. 26 represents the number, 20 plus 6 represents the number 26. I've expanded that out into a tens group, so these are my tens. I have 2 tens, and a ones group. I have 6 ones. The first question on your page says how many square units of area are there in the tens part of the drawing. They want us to know, well, how many unit squares are inside here? Now I could count all those unit squares, but that would take me an awfully long amount of time. So instead I'm going to use the trick we talked about yesterday, and I'm going to multiply 4 times 20. I can use my tens trick and get rid of my 0. I know 4 times 2 is 8, and I'm going to add that 0 back in. So I can say that there are 80 square units in my tens place. Now they're asking how many square units are in the ones spot. Well, if I'm looking at my ones graph or my ones area over here, I don't have 20 across the top. I don't have 20 columns there. Instead, I only have 6 columns. So 6 is going to be my first number, and I still have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. 6 times 4. 6 times 4 is 24. So my answer to number 3 is that I have 24 square units in that area. Now I want to figure out the total of 26 times 4. I've done the hard work already. I've found the area of the tens and the one spot. But now I need to find the total area of the 2. So I'm going to add up 80 plus 24. I'm going to do this in the margin here, and I want you to pause this video and find the answer to 80 plus 24. Now that you've found your answer, you should have gotten a total of 104. Now that I've found the total area of each box, and my answer is 104, I can write out my multiplication problem like they've done here. 4 times 26 equals 104. Today, we are going to practice drawing area models to help us multiply larger numbers. Turn in your practice book to page 82. As you can see, I have quite a few examples of 2-digit by 1-digit numbers. Let's practice drawing a rectangle for those to help us solve those out. The first thing I need to do is I need to pick out my 2-digit number, 28, and I need to write it out in expanded form. To expand that out, I'm going to ask, well, how many is in my tens? I have 2 tens, which is 20, and I have 8 ones, 20 plus 8. Now I'm going to draw my rectangle. I'm going to write 20 on the top plus 8. That's the expanded form of 28. Then I'm going to put 3 as my rows there. Before I solve my problem, I'm going to draw a line to separate the tens and the ones. I'm putting my line right at my plus sign. Pause this video and create a rectangle or area model just like you see on your page. Now that you have this built, I'm going to work through my tens place first. I'm going to look at my 20 and my 3. 3 times 20. When I write that out, I know I can use my tens trick that we talked about yesterday. So I'm going to cross out my 0. 3 times 2 is 6. I'm going to add my 0 back in, 60. Now I'm going to move over to my ones place, and I'm going to multiply 8 times 3. I still have the same amount of rows in this one, so 8 times 3. 8 times 3 is 24. I'm not done yet. I found the area of my 10 spot and the area of my 1 spot, but I need to combine those together using addition. 60 plus 24. 0 and 4 is 4. 6 and 2 is 8. The answer to 3 times 28 is 84. Now, fourth graders, I don't know about you, but this seems like an awfully small space to draw my rectangles. And that might be the case for you, too. You're welcome to use any of the margins or areas on either side, or even open up your math notebook and practice drawing rectangles, solving these problems with me. Let's look at number 9. We're going to do the same thing that we did in the first problem by expanding out my 2-digit number, 29. That number can be expanded out into 20 plus 9. Now I'm ready to create my area model. I'm going to do this up here so that I can use a little more space. I'm going to put my 2-digit number up top, 20 plus 9, and my 1-digit number on the bottom, or on the side. Then I'm going to break my box into 10s and 1s to help me solve it a little more easily. Now I'm going to multiply 3 times 20. I'm going to take out my 0, 3 times 2 is 6, and add my 0 back in. Now I'm going to move to my ones place. 3 times 9 is 27. To find the total answer, I'm going to add up 60 plus 27. 0 plus 7 is 7, 6 plus 2 is 8. My answer is 87. Let's look at number 10 together. If I'm looking at number 10 and trying to expand out 30, remember, because I have nothing in my 1 spot, 30 is actually the expanded version of my number. Now, if I'm going to write that, I'm just going to put 30 as my columns and 5 as my rows. 5 times 30. I don't have anything to expand out. I've got no 1s, so this problem is actually a bit more simple. I can take away my 0, 5 times 3 is 15, and add my 0 back in. It's nice when I don't have anything in my 1 spot because then it's a lot more simple. I don't have to expand my number out. So don't let numbers like that confuse you. Let's do one more example together before I ask you to do the rest of the page. I'm going to take 36 for number 11 and expand it out to 30 plus 6. Now I'm going to draw my area model, and I'm going to put 30 plus 6 and draw my line separating the 10s and the 1s. Now I'm going to place my 5 on the side. Let's focus first on my 10s. 5 times 30 is 150. 5 times 6 is 30. Now I'm going to add those two numbers up. 150 plus 30 is 180. 5 times 36 is 180. Today, I want you to finish this practice book page. I will be looking for 4 area models for 12, 13, 14, and 15. I'll also be looking for an area model for 16 and 17. You do not have to do number 18.